So today I want to continue on our series regarding leadership principles. Now, a few things before we start. One, I know that I've said this and I promise there are only two more, but there are only a few more principles that we're going to talk about. And we have some ideas for more series. And of course, if you guys have anything you want to see series wise, let me know. Just throwing that out there. Second thing, I don't know if you guys can hear the dogs. They're going crazy. So if you can, apologies for that. But this is a leadership principle that I really personally think is interesting. So we've already talked about the traits, about characteristics that you as a leader should be working on. Now we're going to talk about, at least to me, a really cool leadership principle. And that is the idea that you as a leader should be striving to develop this sense of responsibility amongst your subordinates. Now, when I say the word subordinates, I'm not just talking about, hey, I'm the guild leader and I'm going to give my officers crap to do. That's not what I'm talking about. That is part of it. But when we say subordinates in this situation, I'm talking about all of my guild members, all of my raiding members. This is also the idea in real life, as we've talked about. Some of you guys have made a connection, and very rightfully so, between some of the videos and the content that is on this channel and real life, or even other guilds and other games, etc. Other guilds, other games, and whatnot, other MMOs that these videos and this content applies to. And this is a good example of one where you as a manager want to evaluate, or a raid leader or a guild leader, whatever the case might be, an officer in your guild. You want to give out projects and responsibility to individual people. Why do we want to do this? Well, for a variety of reasons. First and foremost, you as a person, and this is true in real life in World of Warcraft, you should have the idea in your head that one day you're going to be gone. Now, what I mean by that is that you may be promoted, hopefully, in real life. It may be that you step back and you say, hey, you know what? A lot of life stuff is going on. I can't be the guild leader right now. I can't be a raid leader. Totally cool. We've talked about that actually, a video earlier this week. We've talked about that. Or you maybe stop, unfortunately, playing World of Warcraft altogether. Somebody has to take your spot, is ultimately where we're getting at. And here's the thing. If somebody takes your spot, there's eventually, as things trickle down, there's going to be an open leadership spot that someone that is not in a leadership position is going to take up somewhere down the road. And what you want to be doing as a leader is developing this sense of responsibility so that people feel comfortable making that step. Because I can tell you guys, it's a big step between what was referred to me as an individual contributor. This is the guy that logs in. He logs in 30 minutes before the raid. He gets all his gems, enchants, all of his consumables, and he logs off right after the raid, and he shows up 2 days later for the next raid. And he doesn't do anything leadership-wise. There's a huge difference between that and being a raid leader or a guild leader or someone in a leadership position. There's not one that's better or worse than the other. They're just different. I would say, me personally, that obviously leadership position, there's a lot more that it entails, a lot bigger burden, a lot more to do, which can be a curse and a benefit at times. But what you as a leader, one of your primary responsibilities is to develop people. And that's what I think a lot of leaders don't understand or don't realize is me as a guild leader, as a raid leader, as a manager at work. My job isn't just to bark out orders and, groups 1 and 2 go left, 3 and 4 go right. Or, hey, let's give this guy a raise. Let's not give this guy a raise. That's not just what I do. I should, if I'm doing it correctly, and what your leader should be doing is developing you. They should be working to improve you. They should be showing you things. They should be helping you out so that when you maybe one day take that leap, that you are better prepared than what they were. This sense of, I want to make things better than the way they were handed to me. And this is the exact way that we do it, by giving responsibility to individual people. And it's as simple as going, hey, I want to go over the logs with you. hey, one of my officers is out for the night. Can you set groups so that I can handle other things? Hey, whatever the case might be. But small pieces of responsibility. And then that way, one, your individual contributors, your raiders that are out there busting their butt, and you give them some responsibility, they are developing because now they know how to go over logs. They know how to set groups, whatever the case might be. Their confidence is boosted. They get a little bit of a realization about what all's going into the raid, how many hours and hours of this you do every day. But they get experience, and that's a really cool thing. And it's a tragedy to try to jump into a leadership position only to find out and realize that you were not cut out for it, not because of anything that you've done, but because your leaders have failed you because they didn't care enough or they didn't realize quickly enough that they should be working with you. And when you develop this sense of responsibility, you promote that, you foster this family-like atmosphere where people go, you know what, I really love this guild because that dude sat down for an hour with me, last week, and he showed me how he goes through the logs, and he's really helping me. And now me as a normal raider that isn't in a, guild leader, raid leader, etc., I can help these other guys. I can jump in and go, hey guys, who wants to go over the logs with me because I see some issues? And you'll see that where people will start to do that, where you'll show somebody how to do something and then they'll go, hey, I want to do it with this person. And it spreads and it's awesome. And that dissemination of information is amazing. And it's really cool to see. It really is. Plus, at the very least, you get to evaluate people in small doses. So where, if there is a failure somewhere, it's not that big of a deal. If groups are set incorrectly, you can go, hey, here's the deal. I would have put, this guy over here and that guy over here. Cool. Not a big deal. And you can evaluate what people can and can't do. So we've talked about before being decisive, making decisions quickly, making accurate decisions in a timely manner. You can, as a leader, give people small pieces of responsibility. Good example right off the top of my head, Agrimar on heroic difficulty and, etc., where you have to CC the little fire ads. Well, give somebody the responsibility of calling out or simply breaking one of the ads out of CC. Your responsibility amongst, DPSing the boss is you're the one that's breaking the ads. That's your job for the night. And they now have to, obviously do their job DPSing the boss. They have to watch all the ads. They have to call it out, which is a big deal to some people. Some people don't want to talk in TeamSpeak or Vent or Discord, etc. Some people don't want to do it. They have to call it out and they have to make decisions. And when somebody bucks them and goes, no, do this, do they stand up and go, no, this is my responsibility, it's my call, or do they back down? And these are things that you can work on and you can pull them aside afterwards and go, look, you did a good job tonight. Here's some pointers. Here's some things I would have done differently. Here's some things that I really like that you did, etc. And you're fostering that sense of, hey, I can do that. I can call the ads. I can tell the entire raid of 20 or 30 people which ads to break. Cool. I can do this shit. I got it. So hopefully you guys like what I'm saying here. If you do, you guys know what to do. If you don't like it, let me know. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you got questions, ideas, concerns, comments, again, down below, shoot me a message. And until next time, guys, I'll see ya.